All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. Tuesdays are always fun because, of course, we get commissions posted at 1 o'clock. So hopefully it's been a good week for you. I'm going to always start this off by saying something about self-development. And in my humble opinion, if you don't wake up and do that first, your day is not going to go the same. And I'll be honest and tell you that if you're on here right now and you didn't do self-development, there is nothing wrong with popping off of here. If this is your time that you could be doing self-development, go back and watch this recording later, okay? And get off and go do your self-development. I am going to make a post in Thrive Strong about self-development and have people maybe put some books that they've read, and then that way we can have kind of an area where you can search up top self-development, and then as we add people and they're asking what they can do, what they can read, all those things, then we can tag them to that self-development post. And we'll just kind of have a library of books in there that you've read, or if you have podcasts, if you have anything that you like to go to first thing in the morning for your self-development, then by all means, feel free to post it there. I'll do that later today. So first things first, let's do our 3 steps and stories. If you did not already, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Do your 3 steps in your story if you did not do that. I am specifically talking about either Instagram or Facebook. I think I did mine in Instagram. Let me see if I posted mine in my normal story yet. Yes. Okay. And let's see. If you didn't do it yet, though, you need to go ahead and do that. Yesterday, we talked about as you have your camera out and you're taking pictures, go ahead and take several pictures of your 3 steps. And then that way you kind of have a library to choose from to do that. The best way to think of that is in the morning, you wake up and you take your capsules. So in the morning, you're going to wake up, you're going to take your capsules, even if you snap a picture of your capsules in your hand, and you're going to post it in your story, because that's how you start your day every day. So it should be a process that's exactly like your 3 steps that you take. Every day, I take my 3 steps, I post my 3 steps. So that's always going to be first. Yesterday, I spoke about making sure that your Instagram and your Facebook are not married. So in other words, if you're posting it in Instagram, you don't want to share it straight to Facebook, okay? Because that does something to your algorithms. So we don't want to do that. And let's see, I did post this morning. Okay. I added music to mine this morning because I added the happy song to mine. So I've been kind of having fun with stories as far as what I'm posting in there. So figured I'd mix things up a tad. So if you haven't done that, then make sure that you get your 3 steps in your story. Then next we are going to move on to birthdays. Couple of different things with birthdays. If you guys even want to pop on and say what you do for birthdays versus you know, if it's something different that's working for you, by all means, feel free to unmute yourself and pop on. I know some people like sing, some people do a Snapchat version, some people do a recording because they are very apt to click on the recording because they have to click on it to see what you have to say. So, so we'll go ahead and pull up our birthdays.
I'll jump on real quick.
Yeah.
I started doing just voice clips just to do something different, and I've gotten a lot of response, but the funny thing is I can't sing, so I kind of make a joke that, you know, I just say happy birthday to you, you know, something like that. I'm definitely not going to sing and ruin your day, but I just wanted to do something a little different, and so you could hear my voice. And I hope you have a great day, and just something like that, and just be genuine, and, you know, hope all, you know, just doing a voice clip. And one, it's easier, it's quicker, and if it's not got their name in it, you can save it and just kind of, so that's something different I've been doing.
Perfect. I love that. And I know I've done Snapchat filter ones like that too, because same, I can't sing. but when you sing on Snapchat, it kind of alters your voice a little bit. So. And real quick, I know I saw like today is Steve Condra's birthday. I don't, I'll post it maybe on his, I'll post it on his page. Like I'll go in and wish him a happy birthday on his page versus taking it in private messenger a lot. So if it's a Thriver, that's what I do. And some days I have 3 and some days I have 27. It just, it all varies every day.
Theresa, here's another example. With the coronavirus going on, I've been hopping into people like that I haven't talked to in a while, and I'm saying like, you know, did you at least get a cake during this crazy time? What flavor was it? Or when this is all over, I want to get together and buy you a drink. What's your favorite drink? Because then you're starting an interacting thing between each other.
Yes, I love that. Ask a question, some sort of something, because, and that is super easy to do right now with the virus going on because people are not celebrating in the same way. I know I've tried to kind of do some of the ones that are like, how are you celebrating? But most times it doesn't really go a lot of places because if they're kind of in a negative tone, they're like, you know, well, nothing, you know, or so that's a great way to do that, Deanne. I love that. Okay, I'm not going to spend a ton of time in there as far as birthdays go, but just know that that's just kind of an everyday thing. And I know some people don't do it on the actual day. They'll go in after the birthday and say, do it tomorrow, and wish them a happy birthday tomorrow because they won't have flooded messages wishing them a happy birthday the day after their birthday. So you can do it that way. Some people are very purposeful about doing it that way, just, you know, because they'll get more attention from that than they would the day before when they're getting so many. Okay. And 3 days late is even okay. So that's just something to think of if you didn't make it to your birthdays. It's not too late to make it to your birthdays. Okay. So all right, so I'm going to move on a little bit, and we are going to actually inside of Thrive Strong. If you noticed yesterday, I had everybody try and post their transformation picture. Goodness, we have a lot of good transformations. So my suggestion with that is to go in and literally save all of those pictures and create an album that is a transformation album. So that you can use it in your social media. Okay, so just take a few minutes right now. If you did not do that, go ahead and go inside of Thrive Strong and create that album or add those people to your album. There may even be a few more in there this morning than there was last night, but we'll use those here shortly. So go ahead and get ready to do that. I don't know if you guys saw this one. It's Robert Schwendler. I didn't even know who that was. And it's somebody underneath Heather. I messaged her last night and it's like a direct underneath her. They look like totally different people, but the husband and the wife do. And she said, I know, and they love it. And they will not do much else. And I'm like, holy, like they're like totally different people. Like it's unbelievable. So crazy. Because I had never even heard that name before. And I'm like, my goodness. All right, so hopefully you've got some of those saved. You have to snapshot them and then save them to your album. And then I'm gonna have you move to your Facebook stories. And I'm actually gonna have you look at your stories from yesterday. And hopefully you've got some paper or your notebook handy. But what I want you to do is click on your stories from yesterday, and I want you to write down how many views you had. And you kind of sort of know when they were posted. Like, I know for me, like what time mine were posted. I'm trying to see if it timestamps it. Yeah, it says like 23 hours ago, and it'll tell you at the bottom. And what I want you to create is kind of a timeline of which one is working best, which time is working best for you to post. I know for me personally, you would think it would be nighttime, but I get way more views first thing in the morning than I do at nighttime, believe it or not, on that. It's kind of the opposite with Facebook. It's interesting how that works, but they'll look at stories. So that's something to look at is you're kind of doing your own analysis, and try to do that every day so that you can kind of figure out what is working and what time of day things should be posted that create that impact. Okay, so one of my biggest ones was my 3 steps, which is all the more reason that it's super, super, super important to stay with, stay consistent with that.
Hey, Teresa, I have a question.
Yep.
If you wanted to do a video or a live, can you and y'all, I should know this answer, but I just don't. Can you do that in a story and like it doesn't it cut you off?
I think they're like 20 seconds long in your Facebook story. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I know that you can go live inside your Instagram story and it's different than that. But I think your Facebook story is only that long. I'll research that and see though. If nobody else knows, anybody happen to know that answer right off the top of your head?
I don't know how long it lasts, but doesn't it just continue into the next story?
It'll make it like 3 stories. Like, so in other words, it's going to chop up your story. For instance, the other day when we did those 15-second things, if your thing was over 15 seconds, then it made 2 stories instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there is something to be careful with. You don't want to post so many stories through the day because you're going to lose some impact with people if it's just like boom, 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 a lot. I did a bunch of research on that actually this morning because I was questioning whether I should have you post a ton of transformation pictures since today is Transformation Tuesday, or should you post them throughout the day? So, and after doing some research, there is something to posting too many at a time, like too many at a time. It's the same thing as posting your Facebook posts too close together. So you're going to lose that, and when your thing is too long, people are going to click off of it. So that's just something to, but you can go live, I know, inside of Instagram stories, Candy, because I've seen people's lives on those.
How long does it last?
I don't know. I don't know that there's a time on that one. I don't think there is. Yeah. I can't
Okay.
read her lips. but-
Sorry, I think it just goes as long as you go, because I've
Yeah.
seen people on there just
Keep going. Yeah.
walking their dogs and talking, and it just kept going until they jumped off.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So while you're in your Facebook stories, go ahead and choose one of the transformation pictures, whichever one it may be. And then, so like I chose one, and I am just going to write transfer, hashtag Transformation Tuesday on it. And then I'll do the same thing today with my story and Instagram, but I'm not going to do it right this second. So I'll do a different one, or I'll post it a little bit later. And I'm going to do this probably 3 times throughout the day, 3 to 5 times throughout the day. I would say 3 if you're a huge story person. I wouldn't do more than 3 if you're all in your story all the time, because all of a sudden you're going to have, 10 things in your story if you're trying to sprinkle in throughout the day. And like I said, it'll lose its luster, so to speak. Okay. And of course, one thing that you always will want to do inside of here, in your stories, how you wrote down the amount of people, that sort of thing. So you're kind of creating your own analytics for it. Okay. So just kind of understand the process of that. And then of course, if you asked a question in one of your stories yesterday, make sure you check the answers, make sure you write down people's names. There's lots of things you can do inside of there as far as getting new people to build relationships with. Okay. So, so just remember that's always going to be there. So now let's go over to Instagram stories. And over there, let's do the same thing where we're going to go in and we are going to look at same thing. Make your little graph as far as how many, I don't know how many times you guys posted in there. Like I posted in there, I think, well, more than 3 times yesterday, but one of them is already gone because they disappear after 24 hours. So try to do the same thing. Like I definitely had the most first thing in the morning, once again, and then it dwindled throughout the day. So do you notice that you have more views in your stories in Instagram or Facebook? And it might make a difference on your network in each, like if your network isn't as big in one as the other. Do you guys notice anything?
Mine's definitely Facebook, but working on
Network
Instagram.
is bigger, yeah. Same with yours, Jess? Yeah. Okay, and you'll have to scroll past a bunch of those to get to where you see your non-thrivers. And then those are some names that I'm smiling right now because Denise just took a picture. And it is important to take that picture every day. So if you do want to post something about community, then that's a good one. I know I looked in my memories today because last year we were in Thrivapalooza. So it's another good way to show community. If you go to your memories and you were at Thrivapalooza yesterday, I wish it was yesterday, last year, then it's a good area to grab a picture from, okay? And sometimes that'll give you post motivation for the day, based on what was happening. Just like Candy actually did that yesterday. She had a great business post because she looked at her memories and realized what had happened a year ago. So that's a great business post sometimes whenever you pull those up. So I know last year on this day, like Denise got her 200K banner and Heather and Carrie did too. So, so memories are good. All right, so after you've kind of jotted down a few of those names, then what we want to do is I want to see if you notice the ones that you talked to yesterday or that you created relationships yesterday. You should see them closer towards the front rather than towards the end of your stories, depending on how much you communicated with them. Okay. I know I communicated with a few quite a bit, and they were like one of the first few people I saw on my little bubbles up top. Okay. So the more you communicate, the more those people are going to move forward, and your thrivers are going to toggle down if you're not, you know, communicating as much there. So that should be a trend that you start seeing. But for now, of course, you can go to the very, very end, and you can click on some of those and go ahead and take, you know, 3 to 5 minutes and go ahead and let's do some interaction with those. And like I said yesterday, your interaction, if you're having a struggle with saying something about, you know, their story that they posted, or, you know, you just can't figure out what to say, that kind of thing, then sometimes those are best to skip, you know, and go to the next one. Okay. So let's do that for probably, I don't know, 3 minutes. Let's do that. Sometimes the things people post in their stories, goodness. Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and move, because we didn't really work in our Facebook groups yesterday. Let's go to the 3 lines at the bottom, and let's click on your groups. If you are not in groups that are, you know, that have your 5 things, or things that you're interested in, I don't know, maybe it's crocheting or dogs, or whatever it is. And if you don't have groups, take this time to search some. Goodness, there's so many different groups out there. It's not even funny. I think when we all looked to see how many groups we were in, we were kind of surprised at how many groups we were actually in. I know I was, but I think it was back before you had to kind of approve, you know, being in a group or whatever, like when people just added you to things. But go ahead and spend some time, a couple of minutes in those groups. And I don't know, like, you know, maybe take some time and figure out something that you can post in there. something, a question you can ask, or something that you can inspire people. It's always hard when you tell people, I want you to go to here and I want you to make a post, because I don't know about you guys, but like, I got to feel my post. I got to figure out what I'm going to say. But if you go in that group and you kind of look around in there, you can kind of see what the content is looking like today, and then maybe you can think of something to post in there, even if it's not right now, maybe it's later in the day today, to create a little bit of interaction inside of that group, or to inspire in that group, or to create some value in that group. Okay. And I know sometimes, you know, it's said to go into those areas, and if you see people, go ahead and friend request people. Couple of schools of thought on that. One is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to go in and you don't want to mass and, you know, friend request people. Sometimes that'll get you blocked if you go in and mass that. So if you do that, I would probably do some, you know, 3 to 5 people, and just kind of see where that goes. But you definitely want to be inside of your groups, working those groups, and then reading, you know, just see what a post looks like and read some of the comments, and then you can kind of maybe comment in that area, just that sort of thing. So work for a few minutes in those groups. And like I said, if you don't have groups that you feel like you can do those sorts of things in, then go ahead and search some groups and maybe request to join a group. And if you find, as you're looking in your groups, if you find, I know I had joined some, and like one of them nothing hardly ever gets posted in there. So you may find it time to go ahead and exit a group too while you're inside of your groups, and then go and find another one that you may, you know, find that's useful. Okay. Let's go ahead and move back over to Instagram. And I want you to go to your page, to like your profile page, and I want you to open it. And right when it pops up, you're going to notice that you're going to see 6 pictures. Okay. Those 6 pictures that you see should be kind of part of your 5. Okay. Should be the things that explain you, should be the things that are just kind of all about who you are. because I want you to realize, and I want to tell you that if you have a private page, people see nothing there. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get followers because people that snoop your page are going to get absolutely nothing from that area. Okay, so that's all the more reason to kind of have it public if you're trying to go grow your network. I know I had one yesterday that was like that, and I clicked on some of them, and I'm just like, why would I follow them? Because I can't tell who they are, you know? So those top 6 pictures that you have a very small window of time for somebody to pop on your profile and kind of figure out who you are and whether they want to follow you or not. Okay. So those six pictures should be representing kind of who you are. Okay. And if they don't, it's okay. Start now. And today forward, let those 6 pictures kind of create an idea of who you are. And I know on mine personally, I kind of have a grid in there so that I can see, for me personally, I do it this way because I can tell when I'm done for the day in there. So I usually will post a picture and then I'll post something motivational. And then I'll post a picture at the end of the day. And if I have a day where I don't feel like, you know, I'm just not feeling it today, like I don't know, you know, I'm just having an off day, I may not post in there today. Okay. But I'm still very active in my stories. Okay. So whether I am, you know, creating those posts or not, I think I've maybe missed a day since I started doing it really good. But that's how you can kind of tell where you are with it. So if you post nothing but selfies all the time, I can't really tell very much about you except that you love taking selfies, you know, and that sort of thing. So for me, like, you're going to know I'm a Nana because you're going to see pictures of Bowen. You're going to know I'm a dog mom because you're going to see pictures of my dogs. You're going to know I like nature because you're going to see, you know, different things or different, you know, pictures like that. You're going to see motivational posts. You're going to see something about exercising. You're going to see, you know, so you can kind of tell who I am just by picking, you know, clicking on that page. So that's something you definitely want to take a look at with your own grid. And just realize that you have that very brief period of time that somebody's going to click on your Instagram page and decide whether to follow you or not. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Well, 2, you're talking about the top 6. Are you just talking about the top 6 that are on our profile? So the first, you know, just.
If they don't scroll, they're not.
Okay. I didn't know if you had said something, you had frozen. She's frozen. She'll come back here in a second.
Can you see me now?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So when you started talking about that, you had quickly froze. And so I didn't know if there was something you went to and pushed. Okay. So just the top 6. Perfect. Yeah. The next question is, you know how you do your grid, you know, is it just because it's the way that your picture and then you're doing a white with black, you know, words and then another picture? Or is it an actual app or something that you're in grids it like that?
I just do it that way.
Okay. All right.
So you could create whatever you want to create. It's just kind of cool looking when you pop in there. I mean,
yeah, I remember them talking about it on that Lisa Fuller thing. And so I missed some of that, which I need to go back and listen to people with that. But okay.
And I'll be honest, I've read some stuff where it says post once a day in Instagram. You know, and as long as you're live and living inside of your stories, then that can be enough, you know. So it just kind of is up to you as far as how you want to do that. You definitely don't want to overpost on Instagram because you're not going to get a lot, just the same as you're not going to get a lot on Facebook. Same, I space those out and, you know, kind of create something throughout the day with those. So,
Teresa, I have a question. Yeah. I think we brought it up yesterday about switching the Instagram account to a business account. Mm-hmm. And I started to do that yesterday. And the first thing it asked was which described you best, either creator or business. And I wasn't sure if it made a difference which one we selected.
Creator, some people are going to tell you creator. Some people are going to tell you business. Creator is like, you can click that you're a blogger. or, you know, that sort of thing. It's going to give you different analytics than your business pages. I currently have a business page right now. There's nothing wrong with doing creator though. You can do creator and, you know, click blog or whatever you want. It's going to give you different analytics though. The important thing is that you have either one or the other so that you can kind of have a way to track what you're doing. Okay. And then and plus it doesn't merge with Facebook. So,
right. Yeah, no, I undid that yesterday too.
yeah.
So perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep. Okay. So while you're in there, I want you to go to and click the following button. And then the up down arrow on this side is going to show you earliest or latest. Okay. So if you click on that, it's going to say default. Today, normally I'm going to have you click the latest and go and interact with those. But today, click the earliest. And then what we're going to do is just click on a few of these and see if they're still posting. If they're not still posting or anything like that, this is an area where you can fix your followers so you can unfollow them. One thing I will tell you about followers versus following, you want your ratio to be good. And I know with a lot of us, we're trying to get followers, so we're working heavily on that. So right now our ratio may be off, but what you're working towards is having more people that are following than more people that you have as followers than you are following. And the reason is when the ratio is like this, Instagram recognizes you as building a community of people that want to be like you want to be followed, and they'll raise you up as far as the algorithms go, just because you're a person of influence, because you're creating a community and people want to follow you. So so that's why you want to fix that ratio. But while you're in this build network stage, just be sure you're not unfollowing people that, you know, that could be a potential. The people that I unfollow are thrivers and people that that aren't posting. They're not, you know, if they're not posting, they're not even active in there or seeing anything. So so I unfollow those as well. And sometimes if you go to earliest, you'll realize like maybe it was right when it is right when you started your Instagram. And sometimes you'll want to clean that up anyways. Okay, so that's something that's kind of easy to help fix your ratio, is to spend some time in there and kind of click on a few of those and realize whether you want to unfollow them or not. Okay, I don't want to spend a ton of time there, just because that's something you can do in a nick and cranny area of your day, is go to your earliest and figure out, you know, with your followers there, you're following there, who you're following. While you're there, go ahead and click on the latest, and then go ahead and interact with some of your latest. Maybe you got some new followers yesterday. Then you want to make sure that you go in and interact with them right away. Okay. So let's spend a few minutes doing that.
Quick question on the unfollow. What about like, okay, like Dave Ramsey, Brendan Burchard, you know, people.
I still follow those. Like if it's somebody like that, I still follow those. And here's why. I can go into a post that they made and I can look at all the people that like that post. I can go in and snoop those and follow those and start creating relationships there, because for me, that's a common interest.
Gotcha.
So those people are my people because they like what he likes. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great way to build your network like that too.
Makes sense. Thank you.
And you can even do that. You know, you can research somebody or pull up somebody that you like, you know, Rachel Hollis or, you know, I don't know, whoever, and search them out on Instagram. And then, like I said, go to those pictures, click on them, see who likes them, and start, you know, kind of snooping in those areas. So common interest is where it's at, because those are the people you want, you know. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move over to Facebook. One thing I want to say about Instagram is before you post in there, just ask yourself the question, is it one of my 5, or is it going to be something that explains who I am, or, you know, that sort of thing. If it isn't, then maybe it belongs in your story. So I know somebody asked me that question yesterday as far as stories versus what you post. And so those are kind of that's the question I asked myself, like, does that kind of explain who I am? Or is that, maybe I should just throw that in, am I just kind of living my life? And for me, that's how I kind of figure out whether to put it in my story or in my, or actually on my post, okay? So, so that's just kind of something to think about before you decide to post. And sometimes I split things up. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna use this one here, and then I'm gonna use this one over here. So, so that I have a different variety of content. And if you're having trouble, you know, with kind of figuring out, it's funny because I can tell some people like what I see, like Rosa, when I messaged her, I'm like, oh my gosh, I told Joe, I'm like, she should totally be doing lives on her ethnic cooking. Like, people want to know how to cook your kind of food, sister. Like, I would watch it because I don't know how to cook like that. I mean, there's different things like that you can bring to the table that you may not feel like is valuable, but it is. Like, people want to know, like, how does she make that rice, you know? Because you were born and raised doing it, you know? So it's one of those things. So if you're having trouble with that, ask somebody that's, you know, near you, like, what do you, you know, who do you, like, describe me, and see what they say. You know, and that might help you kind of figure that out as far as your content goes. So sometimes it's easier to see it from the outside, you know, for somebody else to see it than you. So go to your Facebook, and if you posted a picture yesterday in your content, I want you to go to that post if it got a lot of traction on it, and I want you to click on the picture, and I want you to tag yourself in the picture. You guys remember we learned that a little while back, as far as the work's already been done on it. So if you tag yourself in the picture, it's going to bring it right back up to the top for people. So for me, literally, I think I had that picture of Bowen yesterday. So I know, and sometimes if you have more than one thing that got a lot of traction, go in and tag yourself in it. So you just simply click on the picture, click the little tag button up top, and tag yourself. That works, because I noticed a huge difference when I started doing that. Have you guys noticed anything with that?
Can you tag yourself in a video?
Not that I've seen. And then make sure, if you did post something yesterday, you went back in and you liked what, you know, loved what people wrote, and then you guys know to spread that out throughout the day as far as going back in and commenting. So you don't want to do it all at one time. You kind of want to go throughout the day doing it. And same thing on Facebook. When you're posting, you're going to do your post, and then same thing. Sometimes I'll get 3 in on Facebook, and sometimes I might only get 2 in. It just kind of depends. You know, if I have something, you know, sometimes I have a bank of things that like, ooh, I can use that for a post. So then I'll pull one of those posts that I had and go ahead and create that post and put it out there. So yesterday's post came from my devotion in the morning. Today's actually was really good too. So I think I'm gonna wrap something around that one today with a picture. And a lot of times if you read something that stuck with you, even if you pull a picture of yourself that's good, and you write something on the picture, maybe it's a quote or, you know, something to that effect, those get a lot of traction, okay? So you definitely want to consider doing that. Plus it's very authentic and it's very you. So people like those sorts of things. So I do that quite a bit. I do that inside of Word Swag, but you can use Pic Collage. You can, you know, there's some other apps out there. There's lots of different collage apps out there that you can do that with, but those are super easy to do and they're very real and authentic. So, anybody have any questions or anything for today? Transformation, I am probably going to leave inside of my stories today. You can certainly post that on your page as one of your posts. I would not say the word thrive in your post if you do. I would just stick to the simplicity of, you know, wow, what a transformation this person had, or, you know, what have you, okay? Because you want people to, like, you don't want them to necessarily know right away that, you know, what it is that they're doing or how to take it, or, you know, you don't want to give every single thing away in the post, okay? Because inevitably they're going to go and they're going to do their own research. And sometimes we lose them that way because they go and read some negative something that they pulled up on Google, because Lord knows Google will tell you good and bad. And it's usually from somebody that has no, you know, anything. So, but if they see it, sometimes you lose them that way because they read some, you know, negative comment or something. So, you know, so just get your posts up today, live inside your stories today, post a few more things in your, you know, a few more transformations. I'm going to just kind of sprinkle mine throughout the day. Just kind of go from there. So that is all I have for today. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to throw out?
I wanted to ask, do you think it's important for us to go through like each morning and hide posts from our timeline that didn't get much interaction?
You can do that every morning, or if you want to do that like once a week, you know, that sort of thing. I kind of do that once a week where I'll kind of have a cleanup day. I usually will do that like on Sundays where I'll kind of go in and clean some things up and same thing, like I'll let things sit on my wall. Like I've tried to fix it so that most of the things about my business that are on my wall are celebrations. You know, if somebody hit a rank or if somebody hit double commissions with GOAT or, you know, that sort of thing versus things that I'm tagged to. So you definitely want to, and that's another thing. If you guys don't have this, if you don't have your friends list locked down, definitely do that. Make a note to do that, because that's something that's important. You don't want, like, I don't care if people see, I don't have any of my friends shown. So, you know, that's just something I learned a long time ago not to do, is have your friends list out there where people can see it. And then I also have my Facebook set up that I have to approve what the content that goes in it. I did that because all of a sudden my whole entire page turned into an infomercial, because it's great because people are tagging you in all sorts of things. But like right now, everybody's tagging in those quarantine things and that kind of thing. Like I got tagged to 3 of them like within the last few days. So I quickly go in and fix that. But they're fun, and I'll comment and stuff, but I don't want the world to see that. So you definitely want to know what your public view is seeing, and you want to be in control of that. Okay.
How do you fix that? How do you go in and make sure that all that gets fixed?
I will message you, because I have to go in to see which privacy setting that is to walk you through it. So, but it's
sorry. I think I started talking the same time somebody else did, but I've got a question.
Go ahead.
Well, with so many, like me getting customers and different things lately, and believe me, I'm incredibly grateful that I'm getting customers. But all the post, like I looked at my page a while ago, and I'm scrolling down, and it's a great problem to have. Believe me, I'm not complaining, and I'm very humbled. But all I have is like congratulations posts after, over and over and over. And should I go, and I hate to do that, but should I go and kind of delete a few of those where if people are coming to look at my page, all they're seeing is, again, Thrive posts, even though they're not mine, they're congratulation posts. Should I weed out some of that stuff? I mean, and like I said, it's hard for me to even ask that because I'm so grateful to have those posts.
Yeah, I definitely think it's good to have them in there, like as you get them. But then I think you can go back and hide them. You don't have to delete them. You can go back and hide them, so that only, you see them now, so you don't have to have your entire page, because that started happening to me. And the same thing, it was great because, oh my goodness, because I have, I don't know, 3,000 things that should be on my page that I don't approve just because I don't want my page full of that, so I think it's good to sprinkle it in, but it shouldn't be an infomercial, for all of that. And successes are good, like showing monumental successes, whether it's somebody hit a certain amount or they hit a rank or they hit, some sort of accomplishment. But if we have all of our customers in there all the time, then that's just a lot. So I would say sprinkle, and I would have them show up to get a lot of people to comment, because that's going to bring your page to the top. But then a day or so later, I would go back and hide those. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm talking about the ones that I'm personally congratulated in.
Yeah, same thing. I would leave them on there for a day or so. No, you're fine. Because you want them on there to get a little bit of traction, because your algorithms, it's helping your algorithms if people are commenting and liking it and loving it. Okay. So it's going to help you if you have it on there for a period of time. And then I would go back in and hide it a day or so later. Okay. So, even if you did it, like I said, once or twice a week, where you're just cleaning it up. Okay. So that if somebody goes to your page, and then that is one thing you can do, Candy, is go to, let's see, where's that at? If you go to, let me see if I can find it quickly, and if I can't, I'll tell you after I find it. You want to see what they're seeing, like the public view of what they're seeing. Let me see where that's at, if I can see it. I think it's, go to view as. Okay, so go to your profile and click the 3 dots on the right hand side, and then go to view as, and you're going to see what the public sees. Okay, and that's kind of a good thing to go in and see what it looks like, because you're going to be able to see it from what everybody else is seeing. Okay. All right, and then I'll look up and tell you guys how to do the privacy, and I'll probably do that. I'll pop on here tomorrow and do that during our thing. That's part of what I'll go over for tomorrow. Okay. Anybody got anything else? All right, y'all have a good Tuesday. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.